Welcome to a Pilates class today, and the theme of the class today is going to be two of our spinal movements. So we're going to be focusing on rotating the spine, and we're going to focus on lateral flexion, which is side bends. So those are the two spine movements that we're going to be focusing on today. I have got a block and cushion as always. Have a little bit of extra cushioning or pillows just in case you need it. There will be something we're going to do on our back, so sometimes just a little prop under the head can help to support the lower back. But otherwise, let's get started. So if you sat, so you can see my mat is quite thick. I'm actually going to sit on my block so that I can feel the sitting bone. So you can also do this in a chair, actually. So you want to make sure that you can feel the heaviness of both your sitting bones so that you can feel if you're lopsided, or perhaps as we come into the movement, maybe your pelvis is moving. So you want to be on a hard surface or even the floor. So sit in any comfortable position. You can have your legs straight, you can have them bent, crossed like I've got them. You can also have them in a butterfly position. Whichever way helps you to sit up nice and tall. So out of everything, that's the most important thing, is that your spine is tall. So this is why I often say to people, if you can do your stuff in front of a mirror, you will gain a lot of benefit from it. I know people don't like looking in the mirror, but rather than being, oh, look at my hair, it's like, look at your spine. So we want to make sure that the spine is nice and straight rather than sitting in that kind of shape, okay? So we're going to start with twists. Get my bum evenly balanced. So from here, we'll take the hands across the shoulders. So be aware that you don't just like hug in like that. So you still want to keep your shoulders down. I've just got my hands here because the microphone's there. Now, when you lengthen your spine, hopefully you'll feel the abdominals naturally hug in. So, and keep the crown of the head. So often when in class, people say, lengthen the crown of the head up to the ceiling, they'll look up. So the crown of the head is on top of the head. So think of that. Imagine a tiara on your head. You're trying to get your tiara up towards the ceiling. Feel how the tummy naturally pulls in, and then see how it feels for you. You can turn on a breath in, you can turn on a breath out. There's no right or wrong. I do it on the inhale, Paul does it on the exhale. So as you rotate towards your left, what I want you to notice, have you started coming off of your right bum cheek? Or perhaps you're starting to lean back, so you'll feel the weight go more towards the coccyx. Or any kind of thing. Maybe your knees are moving if your leg is straight. You might find the right hip wants to come forward as well. So what I actually want you to do, in this position, hold it there, take a breath in, grow nice and tall. Now, can you send your left hip a little bit more forward to stop the pelvis turning as well? So when it comes to spine work, we really want to anchor that pelvis into a neutral position, so a forward-facing position, so that our movement is actually coming from the spine. And then bring yourself back to the center if you want to give yourself a little jiggle. Now we're going to go to the right. So rotate towards the right. Remember, keep that spine nice and tall. Focus on your sitting bones. Are they evenly heavy, or have you come off of one sitting bone? Perhaps you're leaning back a little bit. Hold it there, grow nice and tall, take another breath in. Now I want you to think of all these muscles around your waist. So as you turn, hug your tummy in. Think of giving your spine a hug, and use these muscles to try and help turn you a little bit more. I like to think of like wringing the spine out. Your right hip, see if you can nudge it slightly forward to stop the pelvis from turning as well. So hopefully you'll feel there's a little bit of a deeper twist going on. Coming back to the center, and then release. So rotate towards the left. Hold it there. Breathe in, grow nice and tall. Exhale, can you go a little deeper? So hug the tummy in, twist, and then nudge that left hip slightly forward. Your head can either keep looking in line with the arms, or you can look behind you, whatever feels best for your neck. Hold, we're staying here for another breath, just giving those tissues a chance to give. So inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, can you go a little deeper? And you should feel like you've gone a little bit further now. Coming back to the center, give it a wiggle, and now we'll go over to the right. So you may have noticed one side is easier than the other. You might have more rotation in one side. So really pay attention to that. So inhale, grow nice and tall. Exhale, hug your spine, go a little deeper. Nudge that right hip slightly forward, holding it there. Take a breath in, grow nice and tall. Exhale, hug the spine, go a little deeper. Nudge that right hip slightly forward. And then inhale back to the center and just release. So we're actually going to do one more. And I want you to go to the side that is the most challenging for you. So for me, it was going to my right. I felt a lot more undue movement, so I could feel the hip was trying to move more, and I couldn't go as deep on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go to my right. Pick your more challenging side. We're just going to do one more on that side. And if you're not sure, it's the side that you wouldn't want to do again. So take a breath in and then rotate to whichever side you're going. Make sure your bum cheeks are anchored firmly down. The hips are pointing forward. Take a breath in as you lengthen up. As you breathe out, hug your tummy in, rotate a little bit. So if you're going to the left, nudge your left hip forward. If you're going to the right, nudge your right hip forward. Hold it there. Taking another breath. Exhale a little deeper. Coming back to the center, and then release. Well done. Just give everything a little shake. So now we're going to come into side bend. So I want you to stay on your block or whatever hard surface you're on, and we're going to work into the side of the body. So take your hands up towards the ceiling, and then take your right hand towards the floor. So you can have cupcake fingers or spider fingers. You can have your hands flat. It really depends on how long your arms are. You could, if you've got really dinky arms, you could always put books or something under your hand. So right hand comes down. Now from here, bend your right elbow so that your right shoulder drops. Okay, so you actually don't want to put too much weight into this arm. So be aware of locking and the shoulder coming forward. It's a very common thing that people do. So really focus on this elbow being nice and bent. Now your top hand is going to reach up to the wall. Now imagine you have a paintbrush in your hand and you're trying to reach that one little spot that is just out of your reach, but don't fall off your ladder. So now reach, 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 but keep your supporting arm nice and soft. So what might start to happen is coming into that right bum cheek. So I really want you to focus on the heaviness of your left bum. So you're squeezing your obliques on this side and you're stretching off on this side. So remember, we want those hip bones to stay pointing forward and neutral so that it's the actual spine doing the work rather than this movement coming from your hip joint. And then bring that hand back down. Have a little shake. And then right hand comes up. Reach up towards the ceiling, left elbow stays soft, and then reach. So you really have to activate these muscles to stop you falling over. So reach up, keep your supporting arms just there to catch you. So check again, the shoulder's not coming forward, you want to pull it back and bend that elbow, and then reach. Anchor down through your right sitting bone. So remember, this is just there, just in case you wobble. And then reach, 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 that little painty spot there, and then come back up to the top again. So we're just going to do one more each side. So left hand comes up, reach up towards the ceiling, coming into the side bend. So now we're going to actually do a little bit of opposition. Rather than coming over to the side, what I want you to do is start pushing this left rib cage out towards the left, and then come into your side bend. So you'll feel now there's not so much temptation to fall over. So push your left rib cage out to the side, squeeze your right rib cage to your right hip. Relax there, I could feel my legs kicking in. And then the top hand's going up, 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 up. Relax your right shoulder. The chin is back, so be aware of looking down. And then bring it back up again. Right hand comes up. Relaxing in the left hand, come into the side bend. Now I want you to think of pushing your right rib cage out to the side, and you'll feel how all that weight goes into your right sitting bone, and then reach the top hand. So you'll find you hardly need to put any weight into that left hand. Reach, 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 reach. Again, have you got one side that feels a little bit more challenging? This side feels more challenging to me. So it's not always going to be the same side. And then bring it back up again. Oh, and release. So choose your more challenging side. I'm going to go towards my left. So see which one it is for you. Sitting nice and tall, so if you're going to stretch your left side, the left hand goes up. If your right side goes up. Although I was tight on that right twist, so it's the same side. So hand comes up, relaxing that other arm, and then take it into your bend. So I want you to imagine there's a wall behind you. Be aware that you don't lean forward. You still want that spine tall. Push into the rib cage. So if your left hand is up, you're pushing out through the left rib cage. If your right hand is up, you're pushing out through the right rib cage. Relaxing the other arm. Chin slightly up and back. Good. Breathe into the side body. Stretching a little more. Relaxing the supporting shoulder. And then bring your hand up and relax down. Good. Have a little shoulder roll. So we're actually going to come. If you're on a block, take the block away. And we're going to come into what's called mermaid position. So this can be an awkward position for some people to sit. So I'm going to give you lots of alternatives. And you can also sit on a block. So sometimes people are just at a bit of an angle. So you can put a block under your bum, and that can give your hips a bit more space. So different leg positions. You can have both of your legs, if you think of a mermaid tail, oh, cramping my toe. You can have both your legs in that position. You can have your legs in that position. If this kind of leg position doesn't work for you, you can just have your legs out to the front, okay? Like I said, sometimes just having a block under that bum cheek can give you a little bit of space in the hip so you can sit in that position. So you can try the block under your bum as well. So whichever leg position, I'm just going to keep mine here. And then make sure you have space on the right-hand side. So my legs are going to the left, we're going to move to the right. Your left hand holds onto the left leg. So if your legs are out to the front, you're just going to have the hand on the floor. Take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Think of that little twist stretch that we've just done. So breathe in. From here, take your hand to the floor, slide it out. Bring your elbow down onto the floor. Take the left hand up. Take it over, palm face in the floor, and then push the rib cage up. If you want to go a little further, drop that top shoulder down and then reach. So you're going to get this little bit of a different sensation. Just have a play. Where do you feel like you need that stretch? Now I'm going to do a little bit of oblique work. So breathe in, hand comes up. Now squeeze your tummy. So you don't want to be doing that. Squeeze your tummy to bring your body back up again. Taking it into that side bend. Good. Relax your left shoulder. So inhale, reach the hand. Take it down to the floor, slide it out, shoulder, elbow under shoulder, push the floor away. Left hand comes up and over the top, palm facing towards the floor, and then lift that rib cage. So remember, even your fingers, imagine you're trying to reach beyond the mat. And we're going to do one more. So bring it back up, squeeze your tummy, bring it back up again, and take it over. So again, have a little play with positioning there. That's quite a nice stretch. And then last one onto the elbow. Top hand comes over. Lift your rib cage. Push out of that supporting shoulder. So you don't want to be sagging in your right shoulder. Push away. Breathe in, hand comes up. And then just bring yourself back to the center. And then we're going to swing the legs over to the other side. Good. So right hand is going to hold the legs. Again, You might find one side you can sit quite comfortably and the other side might be quite a challenge. So remember, you can use cushions under this hip to help you just get a little bit of space in the hip. So your right hand is holding the leg, left hand comes up. Breathe in, take it into that little side bend. From here, take the hand to the floor, slide it out, elbow under shoulder. Right hand comes up. Turn it so that the palm is facing towards the floor and reach. And then push that rib cage up to the ceiling and push out of your supporting shoulder. So you're trying to move your ear and your shoulder away from each other. Push, 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 push. Inhale, right hand comes up. And then use your obliques to come back up again into that side bend. Relax your right shoulder. So inhale. Exhale. Breathing in, take the hand down, slide the elbow out. Top hand comes up and over, palm facing the floor. Now lift your rib cage. Push into the supporting elbow to send the ear away from the shoulder. And we're going to do one more. So inhale as you come up, squeeze the obliques so you can see there's a weakness in mine on that side, and take it over, big stretch again. Inhale, bring it down. So don't worry if you have a weakness on one side. It is perfectly normal to have imbalances in your body. I don't know of anybody that doesn't. Hands come up, and then back to the starting position. Marvelous. So we are coming on to the back now. So I highly recommend having something under the head, whether it's a small cushion or a block, just to give your lower back some support. See how it feels. You can always take it away if you definitely don't like it, but it's a nice way to keep a little bit safer. So from here, we're going to bring the knees into tabletop. So I'm actually going to start with a harder variation because I find the easier variation is very easy to cheat. So I thought we'll do the harder one first, but I'm going to offer you the harder one, but with easier options. So just bring the knees up towards the ceiling first, and we want to make sure that the lower back stays flat on the floor, okay? Your knees are together and your feet are together. So in an ideal world, we actually want to be in that position there. Now, if for you it's hard to keep your lower back down, so perhaps your back keeps popping up, what you can do is bring the knees closer to the chest, and that's going to help keep your lower back down, okay? So that's how you can make that a little bit tamer on your lower back. Or you keep it in that position. Your arms are out to the side, palms facing up, and we're going to do these little tilts from one side to the other. They're called hip rolls, but I really want you to actively squeeze your legs together. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to tilt onto the left bum cheek. So it's only enough to get your hand underneath the right bum cheek. Your knees want to stay together, so be aware that the knees don't split. Okay, so you might find this right hip, you've actually got to lift a little bit so that the knee bones stay in alignment with each other. Hugging the tummy in as you come back to the center. Take a breath. And then as you exhale, take it over to your right side. So now you have to actively lift your left hip. Think of trying to lift that left femur bone so that it's in line with your right leg. The feet are staying together. Left shoulder is on the floor, coming back to the center. So I'm just going to exaggerate what we're not after. So we're not after this here. There's no control. And what we're actually trying to do is just work with the lumbar spine. So your rib cage is over there, and it's quite hard to feel your rib cage when you're on your back. So as you do the tilt, you want to make sure that your rib cage stays down. So it really is a tiny, tiny, tiny movement. Less than 45 degrees. Like I said, it's quite hard to feel your rib cage on the floor. And then come back to the center, and then rotate towards the right side. Enough just to have that little bum cheek coming off. Come back to the center. We're going to do one more each side. So rotate. Make sure that your shoulders are staying down. So if that shoulder's coming off, you're going too far. Come back to the center. And last one over to your right side. Again, make sure the left shoulder is down, tummy's hugging in, feet and knees are together. So be aware that the things aren't flapping open there. Come back to the center and then relax down. Marvelous. So pop your feet onto the floor. Have your feet mat width, and they can be halfway down the mat. Hands are palms facing towards the ceiling. So nice and relaxed. Just take your knees over to the left. So this is a nice and relaxed version. Just keep your right shoulder down on the ground. And you can look towards your right or you can look towards the ceiling. Bring the legs back up to the top and then take it over to the other side. So you can gaze towards your left or towards the ceiling. I like to look towards the ceiling. Especially if my head's on a block, my neck doesn't like that. And then come back to the center again. Give your knees another little hug. So roll onto your side, pop yourself back up into a seated position. There we go. So just have a few little shoulder rolls. So we've done lateral flexion and we've done rotation. And those are two of the spine movements. And in another class, I'm going to be doing the other two, which is extension and flexion. So extension is the most important one as we get older. So thanks for joining me for the class, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, guys. Bye.